Yukai of Dusk, Yukai hiding in the darkness, Yukai of Twilight. A dear child has many names, they say. Some may call her also with the name Rumia. And what if I told you that it may be more than just a fun and thing? This video is about, you guessed it, our dear 3-pumping, man-eating Yukai that likes darkness even more than Darth Vader, Rumia. And to be precise, this video is about the existence of her so-called ultimate form, Rumia. So without making this intro any longer, let's dig in. So Rumia and her X-form have been a very popular thing for quite some time already. It has become almost like a meme within the Touhou community, but after looking into the basis of this so-called Rumia meme, it actually started to look more and more likely to be the case, because what do we actually know about Rumia? Yeah, not so much. Her lore is like this 1000 pieces containing puzzle that has lost about 90% of its pieces, and now you're trying to figure out what's the big picture. For solving this mystery, I had to find the roots of this so-called Rumia meme, and when I got to its basis, I was quite surprised. Because you see, that headgear that Rumia wears is the main point of this so-called Rumia, and as it turns out, it actually is a charm, not just an ordinary ribbon. I have to admit that I didn't know that. I've always just thought that this ribbon being a charm is just a fan theory in itself, but when I got to know that it actually has some kind of deeper purposes, I knew that the Touhou theory is inevitable. So, if there is someone who isn't familiar with Rumia already, let me explain. Rumia is Rumia's so-called true form that is revealed when you remove that charm being tied to her hair. But the catch is that she cannot do it herself, and now if there's someone who claims that there's no way that Rumia can possibly be a thing, ask yourself this. If Rumia would be just weak nobody Yukai, why would there just happen to be a Shinto charm tied to her hair that she cannot remove by herself? And as we all know it, Ofuda charms are used for sealing Yukai, weakening Yukai, and keeping Yukai away. So if that charm is removed, Rumia will gain more power, and that's a fact. It's a canon thing. But how much power she would gain, I cannot even begin to guess, but she will gain more power, that's for sure. But because only Yukai that aren't affected by Ofuda's charms are Yukai that lack any kind of evil aura and scarlet vampires. And as we all know it, Rumia is definitely anything else but a good Yukai, and neither is she a scarlet vampire. So basically, just this in itself proves that Rumia exists in some way at least, but there's more to it. When he was asked about Rumia, Zun stated that manipulation of darkness sounds like a power that final boss would wield, yet she's only stage 1 boss. That's an awfully specific description about Rumia from Zun. For me it sounds like a clear hint about Rumia's true powers. So from Zun's comment we could assume that Rumia's powers when the charm is removed would be somewhere around last boss class, so pretty damn powerful. But still, like always, one answer just opens up new questions. Who put that charm on Rumia and why? Reimu doesn't have anything special in her conversation with Rumia, and she doesn't act anyway strange. So we could assume that the one who put that charm on Rumia wasn't Reimu. But who it was, and more specifically why? Even if Rumia would be a last boss class, there still most likely would have been more powerful Yukai like Yukari or Yuka. Why not still them? Well, I mean, this most likely happened before Reimu was Shrine Maiden, but Yuka and Yukari were as powerful back then as they are now. It would seem more reasonable to seal away Yukari's or Yuka's powers, because they are known to be really great. But maybe this isn't about power, but more about actions. Think about it. Every Yukai has some kind of purpose or life goal that they do. Yukari being the one who created the Hagurei barrier, Aya has her newspaper, Alice has her dolls, but Rumia does nothing. She just floats around aimlessly. Aya herself even states that she was disappointed when, while interviewing Rumia, she thought that she has no goals in life, which isn't very Yuka-like thing. Only thing she really does besides floating around aimlessly is eating humans. Wait a moment, maybe that's the missing link. Rumia is known for her principle that the job of the Yukai is to hunt down humans. Many Yukai in Gensokyo do eat humans, but Rumia is the only one who is almost like obsessed with it. So maybe it wasn't because of level of her powers why they were sealed away, but because of her bloodlust and powers combined. Maybe Rumia's statement that the job of the Yukai is to hunt down humans didn't mean Yukais in general, but it actually meant Rumia herself. That her job should be eating humans, like Ayas is writing newspaper. Now imagine that! It finally starts to make sense. It makes even more sense when you look at their sigil in Grimoire of Marisa. As you can see, in the sigil there's a blob of darkness and a mistletoe. Wait, mistletoe? Why would Rumia out of all Yukai have a symbol of love in her sigil? Well, you see, before mistletoe became a symbol of love, it was considered to be a parasite and symbol for murdering. It fits even better than I would have hoped for. And now the big question. Who done it? Well, I don't have any solid evidence for backing up this, but all the evidence that I was able to gather have led me to actually quite amazing discovery. You see, those Ofuda charms, as far as I know, will be effective as long as the one who used them is still alive, or hasn't deactivated them by him or herself. And now please list every single person from any faction within Gensokyo who has ever been seen using those red and white Ofuda charms. Not many, as you may know. Actually, only ones who use those are Hakurei family members, but Reimu wasn't the one who used it, so it would mean that... Holy shit! That would mean that one of Reimu's ancestors, or maybe even her father or mother, was the one who sealed away Rumia's powers, and because that charm is still active, it would mean that one of Reimu's ancestors, maybe even mother or father, is still alive somewhere out there. Things just got really deep really quick. Reimu actually talks about her parents indirectly in Wild and Hornet Hermit. Quote, "Believe not, they will be around for you always. Parents and Daylight." Yeah, right. She makes it very clear that she knew her parents at some point, but they are gone and have left Reimu behind. And did you notice that how she mentioned Daylight? It seems that neither Daylight or parents are around at the same time as Rumia is. That fits in terribly well, doesn't it? So in the end, it seems that Rumia has something to do with Reimu's parents not being around, and Reimu might know something about it, but I can't say for sure. So it seems that Rumia actually plays a huge role in Touhou lore, and if you didn't know it, she actually has shown desire to remove the charm, but as we all know it, she can't do it herself, and let's hope that no one does it for her. I'm looking directly at you, Marisa, and your desire to steal rare magical objects. But in the end, there's still Rumia's most recognizable feature. Her arm stretching bows and that line, "The saint was crucified." I actually didn't find anything related to that. And I have no clue what's the true meaning of it, well, assuming that it has any kind of meaning. Only thing that I can think of is that it would hint for Rumia being an actual Antichrist, but for me it seems pretty unlikely. Even if Touhou embodiment of the Scarlet Devil is meant to be West and Christianity themed, I still find it somewhat unlikely that Zun would just bring up a devil from Christianity to the world of Gensokyo. But I don't say that it's not possible, just very unlikely. So this is my theory about what's actually the case with Rumia and her X-form. be sure to tell me what do you think about this. Do you think that this is the case, or do you have your own theory about her? After this, I honestly have to say that I'm really proud of myself, because just with this short video I have created a valid lore for Rumia, and we may be one step closer to finding truth about Reimu's parents. Also, if I may ask, if you have any theory ideas yourself, please leave them into the comments. I'd be happy to hear them. But for now, I have to bid you a farewell. My name's Touhou, and we'll see in the next video.